Halloween party downstairs today. Halloween season. Turn this down just a little, get an echo. Wow. You know, I was always scared at Halloween when I was a kid because people would dress up. Did you see Teresa's costume? You have to go downstairs. That was scary. That was so good. It was scary. She's like a skeleton, walking skeleton, you know. Wow. But other cultures, they don't look at it the same way. You know, like in Mexico, they have El Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and it's really a party with everybody who's on the other side. Isn't that cool? You celebrate all the people who are on the other side, and they come and you party with them. And that's like scary to some people. But I've embraced that idea. I think it's really cool. Some of you are in the spiritualist churches. You think it's really cool too. You've developed a whole religion around it, I guess. But it's a kind of a cool way to look at things that make you scared, that are fearful to some people. I'm scared that buzz in the system is never going to go away. The gremlins in our sound system. A lot of things scare me. I'm never been scared, about my own transition, whatever that looks like, because I know I'm eternal. But I've had a real tough time with my mom, thinking, oh my goodness, because, she's 87. Or some of you guys, like, oh my God, how many years do I have left to be with you guys, And it's not like I'm looking at you as an age, or I didn't until recently, when I had to deal with my mom getting older. And then I started seeing, wow, some of these guys who look really young, they're like getting up there too. Like, I don't know, a lot of my friends are like 70s and 80s, And I never saw that before. I never saw age. And then, when I spent some time with David and Paula in the nursing home and people who are really at the very end that need hospice care, they can't care for themselves at all, you realize how precious a time it is when someone is about to make their transition, because your party is going to have to be on the Day of the Dead. El Día de los Muertos, Halloween, or whatever, is going to be the only way that you're going to celebrate with them until you pass over. So the thing is to realize we're all spirit right here, right now. The bodies don't separate us. Get out of the idea that we're bodies and you're going to be free. You're going to be absolutely, incredibly free from all of the fear that the body brings with it. The fear of illness, the fear of pain, the fear of separation, that emotional pain of losing the other bodies. It's an amazing teaching. It's from A Course in Miracles, and there's 20 lessons that say, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. It's a powerful truth. And so I'm here to bring another powerful truth to you, and it's also a very popular truth. And that is that we have two emotions. Only two emotions. Love or fear. And that when we're in fear, that we can choose love. And I have a little video I'd like to show you. I think it might be entertaining as well as educational. And Leonard's going to play it for us. It's Jim Carrey.
You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying, I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. Please. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. That peace that we're after lies somewhere beyond personality. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory. As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working toward it while letting go of how it comes to pass. And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun. Like many of you, I was concerned about going out into the world and doing something bigger than myself, until someone smarter than myself made me realize that there is nothing bigger than myself. You are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world. And after you walk through those doors today, you will only ever have two choices: love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. Thank you so much. Neagle Udev. I'm so honored. Thank you.
What do you think? Awesome. Choose love every time. Don't let fear stand in the way of your playful heart. Playful and creative. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that everything that's occurring in the world today is really bringing forth in us a new creativity, a new way to love each other, a new way to love the planet, a new way to come up with creative solutions and ideas. Not just physically, but how to communicate those ideas, right? How to communicate with someone who disagrees with you, ideologically or fundamentally has a disagreement with you. It has to come out of love. That's the only way that will change anything. If we can realize, I have some slides. We can realize that fear is always false evidence appearing as reality. Then we can make that choice. If we just realize it's something temporary, that there's a story of a woman that came into her house, the lights were off, and she went to grab for the lights, and she grabbed a rope, and she thought it was a snake, and she died of a heart attack. Because she thought it was a snake. It was a rope. It was a false evidence appearing real. And there are all kinds of stories like that. And you make something up in your mind. It's a story. And you think it's true because the brain doesn't distinguish between something that's in solid reality or just the thought of it. If you have the thought that that's what it is, that's what you experience. The brain can't distinguish. Isn't that amazing? So that's why when we have a thought, a positive thought, a beneficial thought, that also is true for us and we can manifest that truth. And in fact, all the other thoughts are going to fall away because fear can be turned into something else. This thing worked. I could turn it into face everything and rise. I can stand in the face of whatever is making me afraid and rise to the occasion. I can rise in my consciousness to make it an opportunity, not an obstacle. It's only an obstacle because I'm afraid of it. I can face it. And can rise in the face of it. We're gonna need help. This thing's not working. Oh man, why am I afraid? Because my familiar environment has been absolutely ruined. That's why I'm afraid. And it also might be that I get a new clicker. My familiar environment was ruined when that clicker didn't work. But a miracle happened. Okay, fear can also be what? Frantic egos approaching rapidly. I had a lot of fun making these up. Now this is all from deep experience, you guys. I'm not kidding. I thought, when am I afraid? When frantic egos are approaching rapidly. Because my tendency is to react in a frantic, egoic way. It could also be the final effect of any resistance. If I'm resisting anything, I'm going to be afraid of it. I'm going to be separated from it. Resistance. The final effect of any and all resistance. That's what fear is. It also can be your furious expression of anger and resentment. Right? Like Mahatma Gandhi said, anger is not your problem, fear is your problem. Anger is not what is creating all the violence in the world. You're afraid. And therefore, you become violent to protect that fear, to protect yourself. It's a furious expression of resentment towards who's out there. They've become your problem. Ooh, that's bad. When someone else has become your problem, you can never fix it. What can you do about it if they're your problem? They're going to have to change, or you won't be happy. You'll never, ever solve that one. Ever. So fear is also your furious expressions of anger and resentment. Even if you think they're justified, stop. You're hurting yourself. You're just promoting more fear. Yeah, love your enemies, right? Yes. It could be frenzied emotions abducting reason. Lily works with the organization Calmer Choice, which teaches kids about their emotions. And when your emotions are, the part of your brain called the amygdala is firing off in this fight or flight mode, you're in a frenzied emotion. And it has abducted your reasoning. You have no reasoning at that point. And you do act in unreasonable ways. And when I find myself in that place, it seems almost impossible to stop doing it. It seems almost impossible not to just play the game of frenzied emotions. Because it seems uncontrollable. I don't have control over it. But no, it's not true. And I love it because what Lily is teaching these kids, she's teaching me. So I get to go back and be a little kid again and think of back to where it all started, all those frenzied emotions, and make another choice. And that will catch up with you right here and right now. As an adult, you will be able to make better choices. Because your reasoning power will kick in. Your reasoning you will reason to the love of the situation. You will reason to the fact that you are the love in that situation. That you are the change agent in that situation. That you're the one that needs to stand up and say, okay, I'm not going to fear. I'm going to choose love. I've been mistaken. I've let these emotions abduct my reasoning capability. But I'm going to make some other decisions. So in that moment, what is required? Functional, evolutionary action is required. We're going to turn fear around, and we're going to turn it into functional, evolutionary action is required here. So when I'm afraid, that's what I have to remind myself. You can put that on my mirror in the morning. Because that's always what is required in any given situation, especially if you're in conflict. You need to be functional in where you've come, in your evolutionary process, in your spiritual evolution. You've all come a long way. So put it into action in those moments. I know that it seems impossible at times. It really does. And we'll fail and we'll start again and we'll fail and we'll start again. But keep going. Remind yourself, I can do this. Functional evolutionary action is required here. And I'm going to have fabulous expectations of accelerating resonance. Now, I thought of Kathy Smith Brown, fabulous. Susan Weeks used to always say fabulous. So we have to have fabulous expectations. And I thought of the Wednesday night group. This is how they talk. Accelerating resonance. Doesn't that sound good? I like it. I'm going to speed up the resonance between us. It's a real thing. It's an energy. When we're resonating, we have cognitive resonance, and we have also emotional resonance. When we are resonating together, you can feel it. There's an energy of healing and connection. So we are expecting that resonance. When you come into a room, everyone begins to resonate with your vibration. We had a lovely guy, a Buddhist monk. He's from the Tibetan tradition here. He's lovely energy.
Wonderful.
And a lot of what they do is just be with you. They share themselves, they're teaching, and you just start resonating with them. It's the actual energy that occurs. And we can choose to do that. Choosing love, to me, is choosing accelerated resonance. We can resonate with anyone at any time. And if it seems impossible, like there's an apparent conflict, you can do it at home. Lily and I do it all the time. We just meditate and we send love. We send love. And we just keep doing that. And we let go of the result. One thing that Jim Carrey said that was very key in this process is don't worry about how. Right? Don't worry about how it's going to get done. Just know, have the confidence that it will be perfect because you have chosen love. It could be fantastic events are being accepted by you readily. You're accepting that life is fantastic. I'm going to accept that. You accept more and more good. Some of us have a hard time accepting. We've been giving, and we don't accept. And I think that's part of, if it gets better out there, I'll be okay. I have to accept it for myself. Reverse that thinking. If it's better in here, it's going to be great out there. It's going to be awesome. Wherever I go, there'll be a resonance. I'm accepting these events readily, easily. And I'm also finding exciting actions repeatedly. I'm finding exciting things for me to do. I'm finding exciting relationships. I'm finding exciting opportunities. I'm finding more exciting actions are available for me. I'm not afraid to go out and perform those actions. You're not afraid to get going. Get up and live your life. Stop messing around with them poor me stuff. You gotta, come on, please, please, please. We're not the victim of the world we see because we invent the world we see. We create the world that we live in. And so now I'm finding exciting actions to perform in this world and to share with you. I'm forming exquisite actions repeatedly. I'm forming them repeatedly. They're exquisite. It's an art form. To extend the power of your mind is an art form because you're creating. It's creative. It's like the world is a blank canvas and you have the power to paint on it whatever you want. What a beautiful work of art it can be. It can be fun, exciting, amazing, and you can be resilient. See, all of this energy that you've called fear could be represented by these things instead. It could be fun, exciting, amazing, and resilient at all times. Because that's your choice. Because that's your choice. I'm going to say it again, because that is your choice. It's a very high form of prayer. It's affirmative to say, this is what it's going to be for me. Don't worry about how. Just put your intention of love into the situation. I want to remind you a little bit that that is Unity's fourth principle. Prayer is actually creative thinking. Prayer is not begging, it's creative thinking. It's extending the mind of God, the mind of love. It's becoming aware and accepting your oneness with that mind and extending it everywhere. Creative thinking. It heightens our connection with God mind. It brings forth all the good stuff. Peace, wisdom, healing, prosperity. Everything good. Prayer brings about all of that. How we get from here to there, it's going to be through prayer. Fear can be looked at as non-creative light energy. We had an amazing moment. Can I share this moment with my wife the other day? She said, I'm feeling something right here, and it feels like fear. And I just stood there for a moment and went inside, and I said, that's just trapped light energy. That's just the excitement of us taking the next step in our adventure. She said, wow, what a revelation. And all of a sudden, she wasn't afraid anymore. She was excited. It changed all of those negative ways of looking at that energy and trapping it in your body and calling it fear and making it fun, exciting, amazing experiences. Fun, exciting, amazing. That's what it is. It's just energy that you are deciding how to perceive it in your life. You're deciding what it is for you. Don't make it fear. Make it fun and exciting. An amazing reality. Because our minds are creative. In affirmative prayer, we are acting out of love. We're demonstrating that perfect love exists in us. And we're sharing that truth experientially in a resonance with each other. You know, it's talked about in the Bible in 1 John. It's one of my favorite scriptures of all time. Absolutely favorite. Some of you might know it because it's the God is love scripture. And I'll paraphrase a couple of things because I like to do that. It makes it a little more accessible sometimes. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought also to love one another. This is 1 John chapter 4. I'm starting at number 11. Chapter 4, verse 11. No man has seen God at any time. But if we love one another, God dwells in us, and his love is perfected in us. So we haven't seen God with these eyes. But how do we see God? By loving one another. It's that simple. And that love is perfected in us. And hereby we know that we dwell in him and he in us because he has given us of his Spirit. And we have seen and do testify that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. Check that out. You're the Son. You're the expression of the universe. And salvation is nothing more than the moment you recognize yourself. Salvation is nothing more than recognizing that you are divine, that you are holy, that you are powerful, that you are free, and most of all, that you are one with everything, and everything is one with you. So when it says This is great because when it says, we know we dwell in him and he in us, it's really a statement of oneness. That we are in everything and everything is in us. You can translate this and just put in universe if you want. That's what Jim Carrey used in the video. But it's cool because if you can pick one other person and say God dwells in him, he's the Son of God, daughter of God, then so are you. Because you've identified the divinity within that person, you're accepting it for yourself. I love it. And that's how our love is made perfect. I'll just skip to the juicy part. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, in the day of our own judgment upon ourselves. Because as he is, so are we in this world. Now, I don't care how you interpret the Bible, it says right there, as God is, so are you in this world. The next line should say, so start acting like it. Stop playing small. If God dwells in you and you dwell in God, stop playing small. Stop thinking that your thoughts don't have any effect on the world. Because your fearful thoughts project fear onto the world, your loving thoughts are going to extend love in the world. And that's just how it is. And herein is our love made perfect. I love it. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. That's where I wrote that song from this scripture. Perfect love casts out fear. And it isn't so much that fear is overcome, but that creative energy that is in us is used for positive, creative, and unifying purposes, and not turned into fear. Because fear is our own invention. We take all the creative energy and we turn it into fear. It's not something out there that we need to overcome. It's a change of how I experience myself, and the universe, and my brothers and sisters. It's seeing the divinity in you, knowing that as God is, so are we in this world, and knowing that we are one. I truly know that there is nothing to fear. So be blessed, you guys, and be a blessing. I love you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.